Good morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief for March 23rd. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Brief, where it gets really brief really fast. So, welcome, everyone. I hope everybody had a decent weekend. There is breaking news this morning. Um, Hopefully, I can actually speak, but we'll see. Before I get to everything, uh, and I'll expand on it briefly in just a little bit, but there was um, uh, a runway accident at like midnight almost last night in New York, and two pilots died. So keep them in your prayers. We'll talk more about it, but it was it could have been a whole lot more worse. And evidently, it was a Air Canada jet that was moving about 24 miles an hour, collided with a fire truck on a runway in LaGuardia Airport, and the two pilots died. All right. All right. So I just want to let y'all know before we really get going, because I know we really run out of time on this in the morning. Now I know why most of us podcasters do 1 hour shows instead of just 30 minutes, because once you get going, time's up. You know, that's the truth of the matter. But I like doing this format. Uh, so welcome. Click that follow button if you're not already a follower of the podcast, and click that like button. And like my buddy Richard, he already chimed in this morning. He's been in half. Um, Chat. Give us a chat. I need chatters really bad to meet my quota I have. Um, but yeah, just give me an American flag or a Texas flag, or just say hello. I put a Texas flag in here this morning for everyone so y'all could see it. And there you go. See, got an American flag in there. But like I said, welcome to JP's morning brief. Let's get started. We got American 250. I got a letter here from Brigadier General William Heath and to General George Washington. It's only about a paragraph. Uh, May it please Your Excellency, which is always General Washington. Uh, I this evening reached Norwich, having left Colonel Patterson's division about 20 miles back on the road. The men marched with aspiring agility, scarcely complaining of being fatigued, but the road being extremely miry and in some places almost impassable greatly impedes the wagons, which is an obstruction to the whole. 23rd this morning, um, rode to the landing. Find the shipping in a good way and will soon be fitted for sea. About noon, Sparks, Patterson, and Gretton's regiments arrived in town, um, as did Captain Dana's company of the artillery train. And in the afternoon, Colonel Webb, Colonel Bonds is not yet got in. I have the pleasure to acquaint Your Excellency that good order has been preserved upon the march. I am preparing with the greatest dispatch to forward the troops to New York, and not a moment shall be lost. Never were the men in finer spirits, but many of these, especially in Colonel Sparks' regiment, complain on account of not having received their pay and not having money to even buy a pint of cider on the road. I must beg Your Excellency would relieve them at New York as soon as possible. I have ordered 5 or 6 days provisions to be cooked tomorrow for the passage, and it cannot be done on board. All right. So that was Brigadier General William Heath to George Washington. Looks like they got a little bit of pay problems and a lot of troop movements. All right. So back over here. Um, so I have one other one I'm going to briefly go over. Oh, yeah. Dalmatian. No updates from the Dalmatian Burger Group. All I know is Steve, one of the owners, is still recovering from a couple weeks ago, and we'll go from there. All right. Like I say, keep them in your prayers, right? Uh, give me in the chat, if you're in the chat watching or watching us, do some chatting in there. Talk with me. I will respond back if you put something in there. Say hello. Put an American flag. Put a Texas flag in there. All right. Um, and so for the other news, we will. I'm gonna go over the first couple paragraphs on this Air Canada thing. An Air Canada Express regional jet struck a Port Authority vehicle on the ground after landing at New York's LaGuardia Airport late Sunday night, killing 2 people and forcing the airport to close. The CRJ 900 plane, which was arriving from Montreal, struck the vehicle at about 24 miles an hour shortly before midnight, according to flight tracking website Flight Radar 24. 2 pilots were killed in the incident. Port Authority Executive Director Catherine Garcia said at a news briefing more than 40 passengers, crew members, and aircraft rescue firefighting officers were transported to the hospital. At this time, we understand 32 people have been released, but there are more serious injuries. Sadly, the 2 pilots are confirmed deceased, and notifications are being made by Air Canada care team at this time. All right. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, evidently there was a Delta flight with a strange odor on board, and they were responding with a fire truck out there to respond to that. And this Air Canada jet had landed. It was on its final stop, I think it was, and then the incident happened. Uh, you heard it all over the radio. The one of the air traffic controllers said, "I messed up." So there's gonna be more come out about this when it's all over with. All right, tragic, man. I did not expect to see that this morning. When I got up, my one of my daughters that lives with us still, she said, "Dad, there was an airplane crash last night," and I hadn't even looked at the news yet. I was just getting up, stretching, and then I was like, "Oh, great, man! That wasn't." When she said a plane crash, I expected a plane crash. This is just as tragic, but I was thinking the worst. Uh, Senator Mark Wayne Mullin survived a test vote last night, 54-37 in the U.S. Senate, and yes, the Senate worked over the weekend uh, because of the uh, um, because of the Save America Act filibuster going on. They had to work over the weekend. Uh, Senator Mark Wayne Mullin, Republican Oklahoma, survived the key test vote on Sunday on his way to becoming the next Homeland Security Chief, next Homeland Security Secretary. Mullin, who was tapped by President Donald Trump to be the next Department of Homeland Security Secretary, still has one more vote to go and likely won't be confirmed until Monday evening. Sorry about that. Should never talk about being congested, right? Uh, should he survive the final confirmation vote on Monday, he will replace DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, who Trump fired. She was reassigned following explosive. If she was fired, she would no longer be inside the Trump administration. You don't get moved to another area, okay? She was replaced. Who Sunday's 54-37 test vote, which was largely party line, save Senator Mark Heinrich from New Mexico and John Fetterman from Pennsylvania, who was the key vote to move his colleague out of committee earlier in the week, comes after an explosive confirmation hearing earlier this week. So if it was uh, 52-37 It could have been 52-39. Who were the ones that didn't vote? Man, we pay these guys $170,000 a year to work, right? And if you count these up, there was 91 votes. Yeah, 91. Where are the 9 senators that decided they didn't want to come to work? Man, okay. Um, See that really gets me going because you hear these crazy people that I need to go represent you in this United States Senate. If you're going to say that, do the job or resign. Man, I don't care if Republican or Democrat. If you are not going to be in your place of duty, you need to resign. Let someone else do it. All right, we'll get back to that one at 12. Um, so as of this morning, hey Richard, are you on board? Let me know, okay? Text me back. Um, As of this morning, there's going to be ICE agents at airports to help supplement TSA that keep losing employees because they're not being paid. Um, we'll go first to extra one. Okay, I got a Truth Social. I got several Truth Socials, right? Okay, the first Truth Social is. Wait a minute. I gotta get organized here. Okay, the first Truth Social is this one. All right. The radical left Democrats have hurt so many people with their vicious and uncaring ways. That is the way what they've done with the Department of Homeland Security, our fantastic TSA officers, and most importantly, the great people of our country in an absolute disgrace. If the Democrats do not allow for just and proper security at airports and everywhere else throughout our country, ICE will do the job far better than anything done before. The fascist Democrats will never protect America, but Republicans will. Just like radical left allowed millions of criminals to pour into our country through their ridiculous and dangerous open border policy, the Republicans closed it all down, and now we have the strongest border in America history. Likewise, I look forward to moving ICE in on Monday, and I have already told them to get ready, no more waiting, no more games. President Donald J. Trump. All right. So, all right. So that was there. Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot the article, man. Y'all let me forget. Um, ICE will be assisting TSA agents at airports across the country on Monday. The move comes as Trump and Republicans battle with Democrats over funding the Department of Homeland Security. And TSA agents across the country have gone more than a month without paycheck as Democrats hold up funding in hopes of securing immigration reforms. On Monday, ICE will go into airports. This is part of that True Social. ICE will be going to airports to help out our wonderful TSA agents who have stayed on the job despite the fact that radical left Democrats who are only focused on protecting the hardline criminals have entered our country illegally are endangering the USA by holding back the money that long ago agreed to be signed with sealed contracts and all. Trump wrote on True Social. But watch, no matter how great of a job ICE does, the lunatics leading the incompetent Democrats will be highly critical of their work. They will do a fantastic job. The great Tom Homan is in charge, he added. Something's got to give. You got these federal ICE agents, and I don't buy the argument they're untrained. I don't know what drugs that Hakeem Jeffries might be on, because I'm not saying he's on anything, but Evidently, he's on something because he keeps talking with his hands, and he keeps making these outrageous claims about the president and just lying through his teeth. And it's going to come to a point where people are just going to say, "We've had enough." And I don't want to be on the losing end of that argument. All right, Tellerico. Who cares about Tellerico at this point? What about there? Did y'all hear about Robert Mueller dying this weekend? We'll go over that really quick. All right, 6:46. Man, all right. Before we get to that, here's the True Social transition from Donald Trump. Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald J. Trump. What do you think about that statement? Because I agree. I mean, I'm a very compassionate person. You ask a lot of people that know me. That man, Robert Mueller, ended the careers of many people through his lying statements, both as FBI director and as a special counsel. Right, over and over again, He's backed James Comey. He did the not the Arctic Frost, but the Russia hoax back in 2017 because he had to do he was appointed to be the special counsel right before James Comey was fired. So the big setup was in process, right? And he hammered the president, right? Um, but he died this weekend, age 81. He had complications from Parkinson's disease. Former FBI Director Robert S. Mueller III died March 20th, according to a statement on his family. He was 81. With deep sadness, we are sharing the news that Bob passed away. His family revealed in a statement on March 21st. Mueller served as the FBI director from 2001, which means he was appointed by President George W. Bush, all the way through September 2013 when Comey was appointed. Most recently, Mueller served as a special counsel in charge of investigating alleged ties between President Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign in Russia. Mueller in 2019 reached a conclusion in his final report on his investigation into the Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election that neither Trump nor any member of the campaign colluded with Russia. The investigation did not establish that members of Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government. You know, the special counsel in his wide-ranging probe, which cost $25 million, issued 3,000 subpoenas, executed nearly 300 search warrants, and interviewed approximately 500 witnesses, including almost 80, before a grand jury during its investigation. In addition to clearing Trump of all allegations of colluding with Russia, Special Counsel Mueller's final report removed any remaining credibility between the Steele dossier, which some of the wildest allegations alleged between Trump, his associates, and the Kremlin. And then the thing is, there were no ramifications that came from it also. Trump, let's see, he was a Marine. So with the Mueller report, nothing was done about Hillary Clinton, which everything stemmed from. With their little bleach bit, how do you clean it, and what is a cloud, and smashing telephones, getting the Steele dossier, where it came from, what was going on with with the George Papaloup. I can't pronounce his name, but there was two civilians that were put against the wall with allegations of wrongdoing and stuff. Yeah, they were exonerated at the end of the report, but nobody was prosecuted on the Hillary Clinton side of the house when all this came about, and there should have been. Uh, I have no idea why it didn't happen, but he didn't do any referrals to the Department of Justice to to make these prosecutions, because the DOJ just doesn't materially just go about, oh, we're going to file charges on you. It's got to come from a U.S. attorney, special counsel, stuff like that. All right. Hakeem Jeffries running his mouth this weekend. He told the president to shut his reckless mouth. Um, it's because the president's saying, "Well, Iran is defeated. The next part of the whole process of enemies against America is the Democrat Party." He's right, because all these Democrats want to do is power and destroy everything in sight. And if you contradict anything that they allegedly say, they're going to throw you in jail. Look at the big thing about J6. It was unfounded, all of it. Well, yeah, all of it was unfounded, and arbitrarily they had a federal judge that threw people in jail, threw them in jail without due process, under allegations, and everything was geared at trying to destroy President Trump, and they just keep going. And the Democrats never, ever, ever stop. Right? They never stop. So this weekend, Hakeem Jeffries was on CNN, I think it was, but it said House Minority Leader. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries fired back at President Trump Sunday after the commander-in-chief argued that the Democrat Party is now the country's greatest enemy. Donald Trump should keep his reckless mouth shut before he gets somebody killed. He said it on CNN Face the Nation, State of the Union. And then in the post, the president asserted that the Democrats are a greater foe than Iran now that the Islamic regime has been crippled by Operation Epic Fury. The truth is, now with the death of Iran, the greatest enemy America has is the radical left, highly incompetent Democrat Party. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He is trying his best to find himself no longer even the minority party leader, because he talks some stupid junk. All right. It's already 6:54, man. Okay, one thing I forgot to talk about this morning already was, and I'll talk about this stuff at noon, was the Iran update. One thing that I did hear a while ago, the president was saying that the U.S. and Iran has been in talks for a few days, and they're progressing. What wasn't said was who in Iran that the U.S. was talking to. All right. I'm sure that's going to come out pretty soon today. 48-hour deadline ends this morning in Iran. So what it was is the president, and I have a true social on this one too, but I'll show it at noon. The president said that Iran has 48 hours to comply with fully opening the Strait of Hormuz, or we're just going to just obliterate targets in Iran, specifically utility targets. And then it came out that also Iran is also charging $2 million per ship for a toll that transgress the the Strait, which is a non-starter for the United States. There have been at least two impacts of missiles in Israel this weekend. A couple people were killed, many were wounded. I think over 100. Uh, in an attempt to Iran attempted to strike Diego Garcia, which is 2,500 miles from Iran. The UK finally agrees Hormuz must be open. I guess they were starting to miss their oil. Um, Iran is charging the toll. Uh, Iran's threatening water infrastructure in many countries around the world. Um, and then Israel's continuing to pound Hezbollah. Also, Brent crude this morning as of 5 o'clock Central Time was Brent crude was at 108.75. West Texas Intermediate was at $98.97 a barrel. And the Dow Jones closed on Friday at 45,577.47, which was down $443. So what I was reading this weekend was that with the UK Prime Minister said he had to check with other people that decide to join the war. Trump said, "You are Prime Minister. You make the decision, you coward." I fully agree. Hey, Richard, thank you for writing that. He's the Prime Minister. Why does he have to check with anyone else? Just make the statement and send a couple of ships to the Strait of Hormuz. You're right there, man. Thanks for writing that this morning. Oh my goodness, man. You know, part of being a leader is being a leader. What does it say in the Army? The process, the leadership is the process by which one person influences the actions on another. Uh, if you're in the Army or if you're in any branch of the military, you understand that. If you don't want to be a leader, you need to vacate your position and let someone else be that leader. All right? That was good. Thanks a lot. Hey, Richard, I appreciate that. You gave me a good laugh this morning. Man, that was good. I'm so glad you put that in there. If you're not on the chat, you need to get on the chat. When you listen, the only way you can do that is be on the podcast in the morning time, or at noon when I'm live, because chat is temporary. It goes away at the end. Maybe that's why. Richard, did you put that on because you know at 7 o'clock it's going to go away? Oh, all right. Oh man, let's see. I'm doing good now. Okay, so what else is going on before I depart? If you're in a clean area, there is a clean independent school district forum tonight at the Phantom Warrior Brewery Company off Clements and I-14 over by the urban area. But it's going to be at 7 p.m. at the Phantom Warrior Brewery Company. Candidates from the KISD election are going to be there. The municipal elections are May 2nd. So that'll be pretty cool to go to. And tomorrow evening here in Coppers Cove, there's a Coppers Cove Republican Party uh, Central Executive Committee um, at 1802 Martin Luther King Trinity Worship Center at 6 p.m. All right. And it's 6:59 and 30 seconds. So I'm going to get ready for the raid. Not like raid. Um, did I do something wrong? No, I think I got it right. Okay. Give me a second here, guys. I'm going to events. There we go. So I will see y'all at noon. Like I said, see, I forgot to turn my alarm off. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Check on in about 5 hours. See you later, Richard. Thanks for participating this morning. We got 8 seconds. All right, I'm out.